Pure consciousness. Huh? You want to hear me on pure consciousness? But this is a subject. When you want to hear me on pure consciousness, my consciousness begins to sink. It finds before it a vast, silent, blissful ocean of love. God's consciousness is pure consciousness. I find it difficult to speak on a subject which takes me deep into the silence of pure being. But I'll try to speak out anyway. Pure consciousness. When we investigate anything, in nature of anything, then our procedure generally is to go from the unknown, from the known, and try to investigate the unknown. Supposing pure consciousness is unknown to us, then we have to find some type of, if we call it impure consciousness, with which we may be aware, and then from that field of the known we will enter into the field of the unknown, pure consciousness. So, what we know as consciousness in our life, we are awake. We are aware of this flower. We say we are conscious of this book, we are conscious of this table, we are conscious of this house and this mountain. That is the field of our consciousness in the waking state. Another state of our consciousness is when we dream. Now, consciousness in the dreaming state has a peculiar status, completely different from that of the waking state. We see sometimes our body begins to fly. In the waking state, the body just can't fly. Our mind begins to speak this and this and this. The consciousness of the dreaming state is completely different in its characteristic than the consciousness of the waking state. We have another state of consciousness, and that is deep sleep. That is our daily experience. We sleep in the night and we just are drowned in the darkness of ignorance. We don't know anything, we don't remember anything, we are not aware of anything. That is the consciousness of, that is the state of consciousness in the deep sleep. So these three states of consciousness are familiar with us. It is through the instrumentality of these three relative states of consciousness that we live life in the world. See, I have used the word relative states of consciousness. Thereby I mean to clarify that the consciousness of the waking state is relative to the consciousness of the dreaming state, and it is relative to the consciousness of the deep sleep state. Because there is no standard and absolute character of the waking state, because we have thousands of things to experience. Whatever comes before us, the impression of that falls in our mind, and our mind takes, our consciousness takes the shape of that object. Objects are varied and our actions are innumerable every day. So the pattern of our waking state of consciousness keeps on changing all the time. But basically one thing is intact, that it is not the state of pure consciousness. Because, now to understand consciousness in its pure absolute state and in its relative state, we take an example of a mirror. A mirror is there, an object comes on it, it reflects on it. What is seen is the image of the object. The real essential nature of the mirror is overshadowed by the impression of the object. If we make the room completely dark, the mirror is there, but it is not seen. The mirror is not able to appreciate itself because it's surrounded by darkness. That is like the consciousness in the deep sleep state. Consciousness is there, but it is not able to apprehend anything of the outside or not able to apprehend its own essential nature. In the dreaming state, the consciousness is there, but it is overshadowed by the experiences of illusory objective. The experiences of illusory objectivity, we could say. The illusion of an object comes, and that the impression of that overshadows the consciousness. So these three states of consciousness are of relative nature. We call it wakeful in order to contrast it with dreaming and sleeping states of consciousness. We call it dreaming state of consciousness in order to contrast it and distinguish it, differentiate it from the waking and the sleeping states of consciousness. These are the relative states of consciousness. There is one more state of consciousness, and that is absolute state of consciousness, and that you have already experienced in your meditations when the mantra becomes slow, and the mantra is completely gone, and the mind which was the experiencer of the mantra is left all by itself. That pure self-awareness is the state of pure consciousness. And that pure consciousness has no characteristic, no quality of either waking or dreaming or deep sleep state. It stands all by itself, in itself, to itself. This is self-consciousness. This is absolute pure consciousness. When we say pure consciousness, purity means that consciousness stands in its own essential nature. It is found amalgamated with nothing, influenced by nothing, overshadowed by nothing, in its pure status of being. It is the being of consciousness. Don't get confused when I say being of consciousness. When we say being of the mind, when we say being of the flower, it means the very flower, the very content of the flower. When we say being of the consciousness, that means absolutely pure state of consciousness, which is in the state of transcendence. It is the transcendental state of life, which is like the silent ocean. There is a state of ocean which is full of waves on the surface. Another state of ocean, absolutely silent surface of the ocean. No movement there. That is the state of life in pure consciousness. That pure consciousness is easily attained through our practice of meditation. And what has been the purpose of acquiring that state of consciousness over and over again, many times, morning and evening? What is the purpose? I think the purpose of gaining pure consciousness can be seen from 2 points of view. Firstly, that our absolute state of life, our life in absolute freedom, may not be obstructed, may not be overshadowed. That means we should be able to live eternal state of absolute freedom in our life, no matter what we do. If we can maintain that pure state of consciousness when we are thinking, when we are behaving, when we are acting, or when we are sleeping, during any modes of mind, if we could maintain that purity of consciousness, then it will be like maintaining the treasury in the market. And if a man is able to maintain his treasury in the market, he will have the fun of the market, the very great fun of the market. Not only the fun, great accomplishments in the market. Because that which is pure, silent bed of the ocean, absolutely silent, rippleless ocean, is the basis of all the activity or the waves on the surface of the ocean. A wave which is able to maintain a direct contact with with that eternal silent surface of the ocean, that wave is much more stronger, because the activity of that wave is supplemented by the great power of the silence. The power of the silence, when we say the power of the silence, I would like to say that silence of pure consciousness or being is the source of infinite energy and intelligence. In its characteristic, in its nature, pure consciousness is infinite energy and infinite intelligence. You have experienced when you sit in meditation and then you take a dive, attain that pure state of pure consciousness even for a moment, and then you come out, you feel much more energetic, much more livelier, much more fresher in the mind. Mind becomes intelligent. That means you come out from a field which supplies you energy and intelligence. Experience has shown that the state of pure consciousness, the state of absolute being, that eternal state of all source of activity and all source of intelligence, is our own essential nature. We want it, firstly, because if we don't maintain that absolute state of life, we are always tossed about by the things that don't have lasting nature. All the experiences and all the things that we have in the relative field of life, in the three states of consciousness, waking, dreaming, sleeping, they are changing. So if we don't have that non-changing character of our absolute field of life, then we are only left with changeables, ever-changing features of life. An ever-changing feature of life is the feature of death. One thing keeps on changing, where is the life in change? Ever change means just constant field of death, in order that the absolute field of life, the field of real life, the field of pure being may be infused in our field of death, in the field of change. We want to acquire that pure consciousness, and our attempt is to maintain it at any cost, at all levels, during all activity and process of thinking, so that we may not be lost in the perishable aspect of life alone. We do want to enjoy the perishable aspect of life. When we see a flower, the beauty is there. When we listen to a good music, the joy is there. We do want to enjoy. We don't want to forego the joys of our senses. We want to enjoy them, but enjoy them in a right manner and to the fullest extent. In order that we may enjoy the world to the fullest extent, even for the joy of the world, it is necessary that we fill our mind with pure consciousness, which is bliss consciousness. You know, when a man is miserable, he can't even enjoy the cinema. When he is very happy, he enjoys the cinema better. If our mind is filled with pure consciousness, which is bliss consciousness, then everything will be blissful. Every experience in the world will be a wave in the ocean of bliss of our life. And that is the life that we want to live, a life full of happiness. This is the purpose of acquiring pure state of consciousness. Another reason for our trying to have that pure state of consciousness cultivated naturally in this state of mind to last for all time is that we want to supplement the power of our waking, dreaming and deep sleep states of consciousness with the power of infinite energy and intelligence, which lie at the level of pure consciousness. We want to enforce and support all activity, all thought, all action of our waking state with that source of unlimited energy and intelligence. Means not only we want to be blissful in ourselves, and not only that we want to maintain our eternal state of freedom in life, but also even in the field of a relative change, ever-changing field of our daily activity, we want to be very, very powerful. And that is the second reason why we want to gain that state of pure being or pure consciousness. We want to live in the world, and we want to live in the world with great power, with great productivity, with great success. We want to be efficient in the world in order to supplement and reinforce our career in the world. We want to acquire that state of pure consciousness. And not only in the world of activity, but in our daily world of silence also. We want to enforce our state of deep sleep. Now, enforcing the force of the state of deep sleep means we should sleep less and gain more energy. If we are sleeping 8 hours, we want to sleep. If we sleep 8 hours, then whatever energy we gain in the morning, whatever freshness we gain in the morning, we should gain 100 times much more freshness than what we gain now. This means supplementing the state of deep sleep, supplementing the consciousness of the deep sleep state with the power of the state of pure consciousness or pure being. Every field of life we want to be forceful, and for that we want to acquire pure state of consciousness. Fortunately for us, by the grace of our Gurudev, such a simple technique has come that now herein lies the chance for every individual all over the world to enjoy the bliss of pure consciousness and being. That is his own birthright. You don't have to look to anything else except be regular in your meditations and take life easy in the world. Allow that pure consciousness to permeate every phase of our mind, so that pure consciousness begins to lift all time. And then that pure consciousness, which is self-consciousness in the beginning, should become cosmic consciousness with practice. I wish every man in the world lives that state of cosmic consciousness. Jai Gurudev.